his hand, and I sit down. I go, so Kurt, why am I here? And he said, you know my show, The Sons of Anarchy. I said, I'm a huge fan. He goes, great. We're about to start writing the next season. And we've been talking about a character that we are thinking about putting in the show. I'd like to talk to you about that character. I said, I would like to listen to you talk about that character. So for the next several minutes, he details this character, this awful, just terrible person. He's a neo-Nazi, white supremacist, murderer. He will kill you, he will rape you, he will burn your house to the ground, all for a whiter America. And the guy is an awful criminal. And for the next several minutes, Kurt describes this utterly wretched version of humanity. I'm like, Kurt, why are you telling me about this neo-Nazi hate-fueled killing machine? Because he said, we're interested in finding out if you'd like to be that hate-fueled neo-Nazi killing machine. I'm like, Kurt, what about me says to you, white power? He said, absolutely nothing. That's the interesting thing about this. This person is so opposed to everything that you stand for. We think it might be interesting to put you so against your character that maybe a dynamic is realized that could not be attainable any other way, which is an interesting way of going about casting. You put someone into a role they absolutely hate and watch them kind of struggle with that. And I said, wow, that's wild. And so this makes Kurt Sutter, in my opinion, quite a visionary, a visionary thinker, or at least a man who's never seen me act. And let's be very clear. Sorry? I don't know what anyway, I come from the minimum wage working world of the 70s and early 80s, and I used to clean places like this. Clean up after your animal, park your car, take your groceries to the back of your vehicle and say, have a nice day, man, don't worry, I'll take the cart back. Or take us or scoop ice cream. I've done many of those tasks. And somewhere in the 80s, I discovered a thing, or late 70s rather, I discovered a thing called punk rock. And I found out that you could be involved in the world of punk rock by just being angry and passionate and wanting to be involved. And at one point someone said to me, you want to be in a band? Like, doing what? Carrying the stuff? No. You want to be a singer? Well, I can't sing. Singing talent is not required. But I have no inherent body rhythm. I mean, I can't find the beat anywhere. That's not important either. All you need to be is a psychotic asshole willing to jump up and down and go, wah, wah, a whole bunch. Can you do that? I think I can try. And so I rang that bell pretty hard for about a quarter of a century. And somewhere in the 80s, Hollywood directors started coming up to me and basically saying, I've seen you, man. You're a weirdo. Can you act? And I said, yeah. Can you pay? Because I'm starving. And so I would show up for these movies. And if you go into a huge electronics store in America where they have 800 million tons of inventory that they can't sell, they cut down the price on everything, especially DVDs, which they have in these huge barrels. And it's not genre how they divide them, it's by price. It's like there's the $10.99 barrel for a whole bunch of Jean-Claude Van Damme films. Like, no, Stallone, no. And then you go down in quality, $5.99, $3.99, and then you get to the 99-cent DVD barrel, which has a very strange thing about it. It seems to be moving. Like, what's going on in that barrel? And you look in and you see a bunch of kittens who've been scotch-taped or tied with yarn to a DVD. And the sign says, free kitten with every DVD, or free DVD with every kitten. Get this stuff out of our store. And so feeling either bad for the DVD that's got a cat strapped to it, or bad for the cat that has a DVD strapped to it, you take home the pair for 99 cents. You carefully separate the DVD from the kitten. The kitten goes to run and play in your house, and you examine this new DVD that is yours. And you look at the back, and there's a man on the ground in a pool of blood with his face being attacked by what looks like ferrets. Like, ferrets are eating a man in an impossibly huge puddle of fake blood. That's Henry! And you flip it over, Ferret Apocalypse 4. Wow! and the only thing that you think of, like, how do they come up with like 2, 3, and 4? Now, at some board meeting, someone held up the DVD of Fair Apocalypse, not knowing it was going to become 1, and went, you know what? I smell franchise. Excellent, excellent, bingo, I got ditto, I'm right with you. And I end up being in Fair Apocalypse 4, which is not Streetcar Named Desire or Godfather 2. Why? Because between tours, I'm essentially unemployed. And I like to work for a living. And no one on the sets of these awful movies that go straight to DVD, if they come out at all, which are made for like $1.50. When you show up on a set in your street clothes, and the director goes, that'll be your wardrobe for the entire time. But these are my street clothes. We have no wardrobe budget. And here's your lunch. It's a can of spaghetti. You're lucky to have that. The other guy didn't get one. Okay. And I'm in films like that. And thankfully, none of the actors think that is anything but. At lunch, you laugh at, like, how are we going to put lipstick on the pig on this damn film? Well, we'll have to act our asses off. And everyone goes into it with a bit of game, like, okay, let's make this thing really sing. All right, boys, here we go. It's Scorsese all over again. And so I'm in a lot of these films because it's fun, and I show up for work, and I want to have obligation every single day. I want something to do every single day. And so I say to Kurt Sutter, I'll be a neo-Nazi in your TV show, man. I'll be the milkman in your TV show. What do I do next? And he said, you do nothing. We haven't come to a final decision whether we're going to use this character or not, and if we use this character, it might not be you. So basically, I wanted to bring you in here today, check you out, and I like you. And we're going to let you know if we're going to use you as soon as possible. And so I shake his hand, and I walk back to my car. And I started doing a thing that I've been doing since I was about 9 years of age, which I start rejecting the person before the person rejects me. So it's basically walking into a job on the first day of employment and saying, I quit! Before they can say, you're fired! And so as I walk to my car, knowing I'm never going to be in Kurt Sutter's show, as I walk to my mighty Subaru, I come to the conclusion that Kurt Sutter is a douchebag, and his show sucks. And by the time I get to my car, I realize how lucky I was to dodge the bullet. I was merely in a hugely popular American TV show. Man, that was close. I could have nearly been employed. And by the time I get back to my office, I have forgotten where I've been for the last 75 minutes. And 3 hours later, when my manager smelling sushi calls, like, how was our meeting? I'm like, what meeting? I've moved on. He said, oh, are we 9? We're the injured child who doesn't want to feel. Click. Reject him too. Reject them all. And so weeks go by, and I've completely forgotten about Kurt Sutter and his awful television show. And management calls and says, are you sitting? I said, yeah. He said, congratulations. You got the part in Sons of Anarchy. You are now a dramatic actor in episodic television. What do you think of them apples? And I said, I think it's yet one more thing that I got that I have no qualifications for whatsoever. And management says, don't say that if there's anyone in the room. Which means he agrees with me, but he doesn't want the word to get out because of the 15% action. And so several days later, I am gainfully employed on this set as a neo-Nazi. And this television show is about a bike gang in Northern California who deals guns. They buy and sell guns. So it's a show about bad guys. But there's bad guys in this show that you root for, like charismatic outlaw American bikers. And there's bad guys who you want to see get beaten up all the time, like neo-Nazi scum, which is me. And so in this show, there's fight scenes, as you would expect. There's, beer, beatdowns, babes, and bikes. And so whenever there's a fight scene, it's usually one of the bikers and some neo-Nazi, that would be me, and I never get to win one single fight in this damn TV show. In fact, I don't even get a good punching. I just get pounded and destroyed by bikers. And on every day of a fight scene, the stunt coordinator, a great bullshit artist, would come up and try and lie his way into your heart and tell you that this wasn't going to hurt a bit, that it's going to be really fun. And he's such a liar. He's a magnificent liar. Henry, today we're going to do a conflict thing. It's not really a fight scene. It's kind of choreographed fun. It's going to be super fun. And in this scene, the actor's going to go boom, and you're going to go ooh, but he's not going to hit you. He's going to kind of stop. But you're going to make believe, as you actors do, that you've been injured. So you go ooh, and then he's going to go, and you're going to go, and then he's going to take you and throw you, and you're going to, and I am going to hit the ground like a sack of meat. He's like, no, Henry, you're going to roll out of the fall. We're going to teach you how to roll, and you'll displace the impact of your body on the ground across the entirety of your body, and you won't suffer a scratch. And I said, I appreciate your confidence in me to be able to roll out of the fall. But let me tell you, sir, I am a spastique, and I have no coordination whatsoever. I cannot dance. I cannot snap my fingers to the beat. I cannot find the one in a Ramones song. But one thing I can do, I can fall with a violence that is truly breathtaking. And I can. And I do. And many of you out in the world have seen someone fall in the street. Like, take what they call a nasty spill. Like some poor old thing slips in the snow, bam! And they hit the ground. You can hear the pelvis crack in half. And you hear someone hit the ground so hard your teeth hurt when they make it back there. Ah! Oh! And you look, oh, damn! That's how hard I fall at least once a month. And I have my head up my ass when I walk around. I'm never looking where I'm going. Like, oh, that's fun. And I'll hit something and I'll fly through the air. Groceries flying out of my arms. And I hit the ground with the entirety of my body weight, like, wham! And it really hurts. And I'll be on the ground like a rung bell for like a minute. And I always do it in public. People always see me do this. And so a while ago, I was in New York City, walking around. I was walking to a grocery store, which I go to whenever I'm in Manhattan. And I'm not looking where I'm going. I'm just kind of looking at the amazing miracle of Manhattan, New York. To me, it's like one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And so I'm walking, and my left foot hits some bit of sidewalk, and all of a sudden I am airborne with my backpack floating ahead of me, like, and I can articulate one thought. When I hit the ground, it's really gonna, I'm like, ah! And I hit like 180 pounds wrist first, like, oh, I'm gonna pay for that for the rest of my life. And I'm not gonna, like, ah! Meanwhile, New York City is moving on, and on either side, at least they're not stepping on me. They're so kind that day. And I see my backpack ahead of me. Some New Yorkers step over it. Other New Yorkers, did you have to do that? Yes! And they go to the next red lights and they can curse under their breath. And so I'm watching thousands of pairs of feet march by me. And finally, a pair of men's shoes stops in front of my face. My cheek is on the sidewalk. I'm like, and there's a pair of shoes. And a man stops and goes, wow, someone has stopped, someone cares. And I see a man's face look down at me. And his face goes into this smile of recognition. Hey, I love your show! And he kept walking.